Good morning students, I am Megha Patil. In the previous video, I have spoken to you about the historical background and the characters that appear in Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Today, I will be talking to you about its plot summary. Death of a Salesman is subtitled Certain Private Conversation in 2 Acts and a Requiem. The act is divided into conversations in the present as well as in the past. The play takes place on an evening and the day following it. As the play begins and the curtains are opened, we see Willie Loman's house located in a fragile environment surrounded by tall buildings in Brooklyn, New York. The present actions that takes place on the stage is accompanied or is interrupted with flashbacks or memories of a period approximately 17 years. So as the play begins, we have Willie Loman who is a 63-year-old traveling salesman who has come back home early. His wife Linda asks him as to why he has come back, and Willie says that while he was driving, he started daydreaming and would have almost met with an accident. Willie himself is scared that he is losing control over his thoughts. Later, when they continue speaking, Linda and Willie catch up with an old argument where Linda asks him to take up or insists him to take up a job in New York itself near to his house. Willie, for this, says that he is a vital salesman in New England and says that the founder of the company in which he was working is no more, and his son Howard Wagner does not appreciate the history of his service. Remember, this is a very important remark that Willie says, which shows that he is ready to work hard, but even if he is ready to work hard, he is only betrayed by the boss's son who has only inherited the success of his father. Biff and Happy have come home in order to pay a visit to their parents and are upstairs sleeping. Before Biff goes upstairs, Willie and Biff catch up with an argument, and Willie says that Biff has been doing menial jobs in spite of staying in the greatest country in the world. This again shows that America has already emerged to be a superpower after the Second World War. Linda convinces Willie to go downstairs to the kitchen so that he doesn't disturb Biff and Happy. But Biff and Happy are not sleeping, and they are discussing about their dissatisfaction in the work that they have been doing and also their dreams. So here, through their conversation, we understand the positive and the negative aspects of American dream. Finally, these boys hear Willie downstairs in the kitchen talking to himself. In the kitchen, Willie is lost in the memory of the past, and this is acted on the stage. So the present actions are interrupted with the actions that are taking place in the past. So now whatever I'm saying is the memory that has happened in the lives of the Lomans. So when the past memory begins, we have Biff and Happy, who are young boys, and Biff is still going to school. So they are at home now. Biff and Happy are helping Willie wash his car. When they are doing this, Charlie is the neighbor of Willie, and he has a son by name Bernard. Bernard enters and asks Biff as to why he did not join him to do maths. Through their conversation, we come to know that Biff is almost going to flunk in maths. When Bernard leaves, Willie, Happy, and Biff have a conversation about Bernard. Biff and Happy says that Bernard is liked but not very much liked by others. To which Willie responds, and it is a very important response that we have to note, and he tells his son that no matter how good Bernard is in the school, he doesn't have the charisma to do as good as the Lomans do in the business. Very, very important thing that Willie has said over here, and mark this. Here we come to know that Americans had the stress of being or getting approved from others. This is very important. The past event continues, and we see younger Linda enter, and she asks Willie as to how much he has earned in the trip. At first, Willie claims that he has made $1,200, and to which Linda is excited and starts calculating the commission that Willie will be getting, and it's a high figure. Willie then backs off and says that he has earned only $200, and the commission that he gets from it is only $70, and all the $70 will be used up or swallowed by the dues that he has to pay for the necessities that he has brought for his family. When all the past memories are being recalled by Willie, Happy comes downstairs to the kitchen and distracts Willie. Willie wonders aloud that as to why he did not go with his brother Ben to Alaska, where Ben became a very important diamond businessman and became very rich. Charlie hears a lot of voices from Willie's home and then comes over. Willie and Charlie is the neighbor, Ben is the brother of Willie, who has gone to Alaska and he has made a lot of money. Both of them, that is Charlie and Willie, start playing cards. Charlie suspects something fishy because Willie has got home early from work, and then he asks Willie as to whether everything is fine in his work. Willie says yes, everything is fine. But even if Willie says like that, Charlie offers him a job, for which Willie gets offended. Even for the friendly offer that Charlie gives, he gets offended, and he feels that he is insulting the abilities of him being a salesman. Willie again starts daydreaming, and Ben, that is the brother of Willie, who is dead a few weeks ago, appears on the stage, and then Willie starts talking both to Ben and Charlie. Charlie gets very angry and irritated and then leaves the house, Willie's house. Willie alone starts recalling the time when Ben had come home before he left to Alaska. Talking loudly, he wanders to the backyard of his house and tries to look at the sky, but cannot see anything because of the tall buildings that are surrounding him. He famously says, "Gotta break your neck to see the star in the yard," which means that death is the only escape from the trap that he has laid for himself. Linda hears Willie speaking and then comes downstairs and asks Willie to go to bed. Biff and Happy also join Linda and insist Willie to go to bed. All the three family members are a bit worried about Willie's mental illness. She also reveals, after Willie goes away, she reveals to Biff and Happy that Willie has stopped getting salary and is now working on a commission. When Willie returns, Happy announces that Biff will ask his old boss, Bill Oliver, in order to give him some money in order to start a sports goods company, which they call this idea as Florida idea. Finally, all of them go to bed and the first act ends. Now we are talking about the second act. As the second act opens, it is followed the next morning of an evening that happens in first act, where Biff and Happy are already gone. On that morning, Biff and Happy are already gone, and Linda informs Willie that Biff has gone to meet Bill Oliver. They're all excited about the Florida idea. Willie asks Linda, he is also excited and asks Linda to buy some seeds and plant them in the backyard. Linda is very happy and excited that Willie has got back the spirit that he had lost, but says that their backyard does not get enough sunlight in order to support the growth of the seeds. Willie jokes and says that they'll soon buy a country house. Mark this, it is very important, one of the very important aspects that we have in American dream to achieve more success. Linda insists Willie to ask a job. Linda also insists Willie to ask a job to the former boss, that is Howard Wagner, in order to give him a job in New York itself. So as Linda insists, Willie goes to Howard Wagner and enters the office timidly, and then he enters and asks Howard Wagner some money, some job where in which there is no traveling, and the salary that he demands is only $65, for which Howard says that there is no position vacant. He again insists, Willie lowers the salary that he demands, and says that $50 is enough for him, but still everything is in vain. Willie tells an inspiring story of Dave, single man. Willie tells an inspiring story of Dave Singleman, a salesman who sold until he was 64 years old and died a death of a salesman in a compartment in a train. And his death, his funeral was attended by hundreds of buyers and sellers. He tells Howard that even if as a young man, he wanted to go to Alaska and become a rich man like his father and his brother. But after listening to Dave Singleman's story, he decided to be a great salesman. Howard is uninterested and moves out. Willie alone starts talking to Frank Warner. Frank Warner is the father of Howard Wagner, who has passed away. And accidentally, when he is talking to Frank Wagner, he accidentally turns on the tape recorder that is there on Howard Wagner's table. Howard Wagner is angry, he comes back and then fires Willie. Okay, and then the past events come to the present, and as the next event begins, Willie again slips off to the past, and he starts dreaming about Biff playing a big high school football match in Ibbets Field. When the play shifts to the present, Willie enters his neighbor's, that is Charlie's, office, where he sees Bernard, who has become a very successful lawyer, and Bernard goes because he has a court to attend. Willie follows Charlie, and then it is Charlie who has been giving Willie $50 every week. And this time Willie asks Charlie to give him $110 in order to make payment of his dues. Charlie wonders why Willie is not accepting the job that he has offered, and then for which Willie says that he has a job. Finally, he breaks out and then he starts crying and then tells Charlie that Howard Wagner has fired him from the job. And he says, and he repeats his own philosophy, that is, to be a successful man, one must be impressive and well liked. Charlie gives whatever amount Willie asks him, and then Willie muses that he has ended up more worth dead than alive. Later, the Lomans, that is Willie, Biff, and Happy, meet at Frank Chop's house, where Willie tells his sons that he has been fired by Howard. Biff does not reveal to Willie that his old boss, Biff Oliver, did not recognize him at all. So Willie is still excited about the help that he will be getting from Bill Oliver, and suggests Biff to go and meet Bill Oliver again tomorrow. Biff says that he is ashamed to go and meet Bill Oliver again and again, since he recalls that he had stolen a fountain pen and some footballs when he was working earlier. Willie goes to the restroom and then he starts thinking, he slips into the memory of the past. So here, when he's thinking about the past, he remembers to be surprised by Biff in a hotel room when he is with the woman. The woman is not given any name, and she is the mistress of Willie. So Biff has flunked his maths exam, and as a younger Biff, he comes to the hotel room and knocks the door. Willie is surprised because he is with the woman. He insists the woman to go to the he locks her up in the restroom, and then he opens the door for Biff. Biff persuades his father to call up his maths teacher and ask her to pass him. Listening to all this, the woman from the bathroom is listening to all this, and then she starts laughing. All of a sudden, she comes out wearing only a slip, and Biff is shocked. And as she comes out, she asks for the box of stockings. Biff condemns, looking at all this, Biff condemns Willie for giving the woman the stockings that he had brought for Linda, and then announces that he will never take the math exam. Stanley is the waiter in the hotel, and he comes to the restroom and tells Willie that Biff and Happy has already left. Willie asks Stanley the way to buy some seeds of carrot and pea seeds, and then leaves the hotel. Biff and Happy return home. Linda accuses both of them for having left Willie alone in the hotel. Biff is overthrown with guilt and searches for Willie in the house. And then he finds him in the backyard planting the carrot and the pea seeds despite it is dark. In the garden, Willie slips into the memory of the past where Ben appears, and he mentions to Ben that he is worth $20,000. And he insists, and he says that it is the insurance money that the family will get if he dies. And the company would give all the money to the family since he has paid all the premium in time. He adds that Biff will come to know as to Willie is important by the number of people who will attend his funeral. But Ben says that the family might also think that he is a coward. Linda insists. Linda comes and interrupts in between, and then says and insists Willie to go to bed. Willie promises that he will surely come and sleep. Happy, Biff and Linda go upstairs. Willie is left alone, and again Ben appears, and Willie assures that Biff will become a magnificent human being one day once he has $20,000 in his pocket. The phantom of Ben urges Willie to come to the jungle and then disappears. Willie says goodbye to the home. Linda calls Willie. She shouts from the upstairs, but she hears only the car growling. Linda, Biff, and Happy rush downstairs. Willie, as he rushes his car fast, he meets with an accident and dies. Linda, Happy, and Biff rush downstairs, and the act 2 ends. Next is the requiem. Requiem is the remembrance that is paid at Willie Loman's funeral. The only people found in Willie Loman's funeral is Loman's family and his neighbors, that is Charlie and Bernard. Linda is bewildered with the absence of Willie's business partners. Everyone recalls the memory of Willie in their own way. Happy says that Willie's death was not necessary. Biff says that his father had wrong dreams and he did not know who he was. Charlie delivers an eulogy in Willie's defense, which is very, very important. He says that a salesman does nothing very important like bolting a nut or prescribing medicines, but all that a salesman has in his smile and trust is that people will smile back at them once. And when a salesman loses his dreams, he is finished. Biff indicates that he would return to the West, whereas Happy says that he would stay back in New York and fulfill his father's dream to be a big businessman. Linda is unable to cry, and she asks everyone to have some privacy near the grave. She stays back, and she feels that Willie has just gone to another sales trip and would return any time. She tells Willie in front of the grave, she says that she has made the last payments, and she says, "We are free," and she starts crying. Then Biff enters and supports Linda and takes her away, and the curtains fall. Here we can see that there is no linear narrative, or the play uses the postmodern narrative. That is, it switches to the present and the past, present and the past. So here, death of the salesman is not just death of an individual, but it is also the death of the hopes and dreams of middle-class American people in the post-industrialized, war-torn society. So this ends my analysis of Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Thank you.